Hello all and welcome to another collection video, this time beautifully lit, courtesy of fellow Blast processor Mike. So thank you Mike for the light which is shining on my chair today so I can talk about Game Boy. Yes, the original Game Boy specifically. So this time we're going to be looking at my original Game Boy collection, starting with Tetris. And what can you say about Tetris? Well, this is my loose copy of Tetris. I don't have the boxed PAL version of the game. This is perhaps the best game on Game Boy, arguably. And here it is. Not a rarity by any means, but I think every Game Boy collection video should probably start off with a copy of Tetris. And if that's not good enough for you, look what's next. Tetris Attack. So, another version of Tetris. Now, I'm no Game Boy expert, and like my good friend Matt Boyle, who runs the YouTube channel Puyo Puyo, so do check that out if you can. Here is the serial, what do you call that, serial number? It says UK V on there, whereas this one says EUR. Does anyone know about Game Boy serial numbers? Who knows why? I guess this is specific to the UK, whereas this is specifically European. It also feels a heck of a lot lighter and rattly. They're both quite rattly. Yeah, Game Boy. I'm no, as I say, no expert on the console. It's my first Game Boy was a Game Boy Color, funnily enough, with a copy of Pokemon Blue. Next up, Tetris Blast. So another version of Tetris. I didn't really explain what Tetris Attack is. It's not Tetris. It's Panel de Pon or Puzzle League. It's a totally different game than Tetris, but I guess to sell more copies in the West, they renamed it from Panel de Pon to Tetris Attack. They could have just called it Puzzle League, but they didn't come upon that grand idea until a little bit later on. Anyway, so that's not Tetris technically. Tetris Blast is Tetris. I think it's most similar to the Bomb Blast variation of Tetris. Now, I can't for the life of me recall if that actually includes the original Tetris on it. I'm sure it probably does, but with the added variant, they usually do. But that's Tetris Blast. And I probably should have featured this next, Tetris 2, which, yes, is another variation on Tetris. Now, I don't think this has a regular Tetris game in it. It is a variation, maybe again similar to the Bomb Blast one. I actually should have double checked before this video, but that is it, Tetris 2. If you just want proper Tetris, either get the original Tetris or Tetris DX, in my humble opinion. So next up, what have we got? Well, Super Mario Land. Lovely stuff. So first proper Mario platform game on the Game Boy, and again it's a UK V cartridge here. Good game, I like it, but maybe not as much as what's coming up. This is Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, possibly the best Mario game on the Game Boy, maybe, unless you really like Wario Land, which is coming next. So Wario Land, it's Super Mario Land 3, and it's very different from its predecessor, but still a very good game, and lovely big sprites and everything. Plays quite differently to Super Mario Land 2. So what should we talk about next? Oh, what shall we go on to? Why not? I've got some Star Wars games here. Do you like Star Wars? I like Star Wars. So here's the original Star Wars game for the Game Boy. And again, I can't go into great detail about it other than this one, the first Game Boy games I ever played are my friend Gareth's Game Boy. And he's had different artwork to mine, I'm fairly certain. This is the one I've got. And yeah, I quite enjoyed this. It's similar, I suppose, to the Super Star Wars game, but not similar at the same time. Quite a bit different. Anyway, that's Star Wars for Game Boy. Again, it's UKV. I'm just pointing out here, I am no expert on Game Boy at all. It is not one of my most played consoles. This is the German version of Empire Strikes Back. As you can see there, it's Das Imperium Schlacht Zurück. Now, I can't remember how you pronounce some of those umlauts and such, but yeah, again, this is actually, so this is German, so this is NOE, serial number. Interesting. Okay, next up, Super Return of the Jedi. So this was definitely based on the Super Return of the Jedi game available for the Super Nintendo. I'm going to hold these a bit closer so you can see them. I don't have a lot of box Game Boy games, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm showing you cartridges, which is something I normally don't do. Getting through these at a nice rate, aren't we? Well, what's next? Mario and Yoshi, which is a puzzle game, and it's quite fun. Good for a quick go. Not much to write home about there. What else do we have? Well, we have Gremlins 2. If I remember correctly, this is very similar to the NES game, but I can't tell you if it's better than the NES game or not. UKV cartridge there. By Sunsoft, so it's a good game. Usually Sunsoft is a seal of quality. Konami and Nemesis here. Horizontal space shooter. And Fall of the Foot Clan, Turtles, again another Konami game. This is pretty good, quite like it. Side scroller, action game. UKV again, if that means anything. Micro Machines 2, recommended by my good friend Matt Boyle. Different fonts here on the side there, and different serial number here, SCN this one reads. I think this was probably picked up in Scandinavia, which may explain the SCN. And of course I was familiar with Micro Machines. Matt told me this was a particularly good portable version of Micro Machines, and fairly obscure, or at least demanding a reasonably high price, so I think we got this quite cheap. Oh yeah, here you go. 50 kroner, so it's about £5, so that's not bad. Micro Machines 2. A game recommended or even given to me by Mr. Matt Boyle, if I remember, Alien 3. Matt is quite fond of this game. I haven't played it a lot. This is an NOE, so judging by that, it's a German cartridge, that one. So here's a bit of a Game Boy classic for you. UKV copy of Kirby's Dream Land. Yay! Great game, can be finished I'm holding it aside. Can be finished fairly quickly, but an enjoyable ride nonetheless, and interesting to see Kirby white here, and now he's pink. Fun fact. So, Pokemon Blue on a blue chair. Whew, how about that? EUR. So I figured that a lot of the later Game Boy games were EUR, whereas the older ones said UKV on. Perhaps, could be wrong, but hundreds and hundreds of hours, most played game, by no doubt, on the Game Boy. Of course, it's an original Game Boy game, but I first played this on the Game Boy Color, and it was the reason I got a Game Boy Color in the first place. It's the reason I'm talking about any of these Game Boy games here is Pokemon. A stone cold classic. Metroid 2. Not a game I've played much, but I remember my girlfriend finding this in somewhere near Southport, maybe Formby, in a charity shop. Wasn't very expensive. I've ended up with it. I can't remember who bought it, but we at least share this copy of Metroid 2. Samus returns? Return of Samus, sorry. So, no stranger to subscribers or frequent viewers of this channel. If you are a frequent viewer, please subscribe. But I'm a fan of fighting games. This is Battle Arena to Shinden for the Game Boy. EUR here. So, European copy of the game. Not a bad fighter for the Game Boy. Another fighter for the Game Boy is King of Fighters 95, which I seem to remember picking up in Hanley at a game station, I think. This is a US copy, probably should have saved this till I talk about imports, but this is a US Game Boy game. Of course, Game Boy games are playable on all systems, so it's a nice console to import for. This is Trax. Trax is a game that again Matt Boyle introduced me to. UKV cartridge there. Really good game. Play a little tank, you shoot stuff, overhead view. Very fun. That's Trax. Street Fighter 2. Ah, lovely stuff. Here you are there on the label. Yeah, I say lovely stuff because I love Street Fighter, but this isn't in truth the best version of Street Fighter by a long shot. But, you know, admirable it's there on the Game Boy. But, yeah, not recommended because there's much better ways to play Street Fighter games portably nowadays. So, yeah, it's kind of defunct, but yeah, there it is. Next up we have Bonk's Adventure. This is an American cartridge by the looks of it. Let me see. So it said, yeah, USA on the front here. Bonk's Adventure. Bonk on Game Boy. I like the Bonk series. Fun platform games. The little caveman there. So, Bonk. Here's a bit of a classic. One I have played a reasonable amount of. Of course you saw what it was. It was Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, UKV cartridge. I guess this again, like Super Mario Land and Tetris, earlier Game Boy games from Nintendo, but bit of a classic. That's Link's Awakening. As I'm not really a Game Boy collector, I'm not so bothered about having boxed Game Boy games, so this was, well, this case says £2.50 on it. This may have been £2.50. It is Shadow Warriors. Great game, otherwise known as Ninja Gaiden. Can't remember how this actually plays on the Game Boy, but here it is nonetheless. I like the original Ninja Gaiden quite a lot. So we're coming to the end. I'll share this one with you. I think Matt Boyle gave me this. What is it? Is a good question. What is this game? Well, it's Lion King. Unfortunately, it's got a damaged label, but this is Lion King for the Game Boy. I played a lot of the Master System game growing up. This works. I'm pretty sure this copy works, even though it's got a battered label. But I won't put that on camera for too long because it's not very nice to look at, is it? But okay, 8-bit version of the Lion King. So the next few games we're going to look at, I actually have boxes for, and it's actually in these cases. Again, another lovely gift from Mike Davis from the channel. So he gave me these cool cases. Keep your Game Boy games all nice. Really good for cardboard boxes, so you don't get crushed and all that. But here's a cartridge, Lemmings 2. Not a huge fan of Lemmings 2, much prefer the original Lemmings. But I am a collector of Lemmings games. Not a collector of Game Boy, but collector of Lemmings. So I had to have it. And I also had to have the original Lemmings on Game Boy. A better game, but not a great version in my personal opinion. I think there's a few setbacks to the Game Boy version of Lemmings. I think the angle you build bridges at is a bit weird in this game, making it quite difficult. So I've played this quite a bit, but UKV again maybe an earlier Game Boy game. Oh, but that's Lemmings for Nintendo Game Boy. What's next? Well, we have in my Game Boy collection Worms, another series I collect, so there I had to get Worms on the Game Boy. And you know what, it's not bad, it works, it's Worms. That's a very boring back of the box, isn't it? Oof. But at least you can read it, nice clear type. Yep, 91%, got explanation, got some screenshots. That's better than a lot of modern box art. Here is Worms on the Game Boy. UKV again. It's interesting how you see a variation in this font, this made in Japan, this side out font. You see a bit of variation in those fonts on Game Boy games. I'm noticing these for the first time as I really study Game Boy cartridges. So let's look at some, actually before we look at some imports, we'll look at one other thing. Game Boy camera. I love yellow. So yeah, having a yellow Game Boy camera is really nice. The Game Boy camera, you can take pictures of the Game Boy, do little animations, make little stickers, print stuff, all this gubbins. And this is the little camera. I love the design. It's a little eyeball. You can turn that, obviously. I think you can turn that. I don't know. Oh, you can turn that. That's what you can turn. Look at that. You can turn it so you can do selfies and all that. I'm sure a lot of you know what a Game Boy camera is. Next up, we're going to look at some import games. Firstly, Go-Go Ackman, Japanese import, not like the other Go-Go Ackman games on the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom. They were 2D platformers, of course, very notable for the fact that Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball fame designed the character here, Ackman. But ooh, it's pretty cool. Top-down puzzle action game. Puyo Puyo is the next game in my import collection, proudly proclaiming Super Game Boy, so for enhanced colours and border. If you put this into your Super Game Boy for your Super Nintendo. And because I like Puyo Puyo, here's Puyo Puyo 2 as well, as it comes into focus. Again, Japanese copy of that game. And I do have another fighting game for the Game Boy, so I'm Japanese import. It is Fatal Fury 2. We have Donkey Kong Land, or as it's known in Japan, Donkey Kong Country, sorry, just Donkey Kong GB, with that Donkey Kong Country artwork. So I quite like the Game Boy version of Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong Land, or Donkey Kong Game Boy, whatever you want to call it. And here is the Japanese box for that. I like the Japanese Game Boy boxes, they're nice and small, quite cute. But even smaller is this Japanese Game Boy box. So I don't know if they changed up the size of games that were compatible with the Super Game Boy, or just later down the line they changed the box size. But here is Lemmings, Japanese copy, the Game Boy version of Lemmings. And we'll just take a little look inside a Japanese Game Boy box and see how cute it is. Look, cute little tray there with a cartridge. And if it comes into focus, there you go. Cute manual, very cute. Lemmings have red hair for some reason. I guess red was the only colour they could print other than pink and grey. I don't know. Lemmings for the Game Boy, Japanese. I think we're coming towards the end of the video now with Tetris. Again, Japanese Game Boy copy Tetris. Of course, much more affordable to pick up the Japanese box version of Tetris than it is to purchase the PAL version of the game. I've got it somewhere, don't know where, it's not in the box, but there's the cute little Japanese manual for Tetris and a little card there saying you can play multiplayer, I guess is what that's about. So there we are. There, I do have Pokemon Yellow as well, but I don't know where that is. I picked that up from Game back in the day for about £1 or £2 because the label was damaged. Pre-owned copy of the game came in. I might have a couple of others, but that's, I say, pretty much my original Game Boy collection. So thanks so much for watching, and until I see you again for another collection video, it is goodbye and game on. See ya.